And some relief for Indian sailors stranded in China. One of the ships which had been stranded has received port clearance and allowed to sail to Japan. The ship is expected to reach India on January 14. So big news coming in right now. One of the ships that actually has been stranded in China since months now has got clearance and is allowed to sail to Japan now, and the ship is expected to reach on January 14. In fact, just to give some background on this particular story, two ships were among several carrying Australian coal that have been unable to offload their cargo after China essentially banned coal imports amid their souring relations with Australia. There are 23 Indian sailors on the bulk carrier MV Jagannath, which has been stuck off the Jingtang port on the Bohai Sea in northern China since June. In fact, I'm now being joined by Srinjoy to give more details on this. Srinjoy, indeed a very good news which can actually bring a lot of relief. But what is the status of the other ship which has also been stranded since months now, and 16 other crew members are also stuck on that particular ship?
Well, there is hope for the Anastasia as well, because the Indian government, particularly the Indian ambassador Vikram Misri, has been speaking with the Vice Foreign Minister, and he's been speaking on behalf of crewmen of both ships. Now, in one case, ship Jagannath is allowed to go to from China to Japan, which is fine. There are 2 or 3 options for the other one. If there is such a difficult COVID protocol and so on, the ship, the Anastasia, and with 16 Indian sailors, may be allowed to change the crew outside China where it's anchored in the sea. Now, if that is possible, then all these COVID protocols will be avoided. That is being looked at. The alternative, of course, is if it can move to another port. Now, all these things are being considered right now. It's in the final stages, and we'll know very soon.
Right. Also, if you can just, Srinjoy, give us a brief timeline for the benefit of our viewers, because this particular issue has been making news since many days now, and Times Network has been closely following this particular story and has been fighting for those Indian sailors stranded there since months now. If you can just give a brief timeline, because this decision has come after a lot of communication which is happening through military and diplomatic channels.
It was mostly diplomatic channels. The important point here to note is that this decision, the timeline will depend on a decision that will be taken by the Chinese authorities. That decision has not been taken. So it's hard to give you a timeline because it's entirely dependent on when the Chinese agree to deal with the crew of Anastasia.
Right, so some hope there. Thank you, Srinjoy, for sharing all those details. As Srinjoy was telling us, big news coming in right now, a big relief actually, because finally one of the ships that actually was stranded in China since months now has now got port clearance and is expected to reach India on January 14, and also raises hope for another ship which is still stuck there, and 16 sailors are on board.